Hi, I'm new around here. I don't know my way through the body. Can you show me?
Yeah, of course. Come follow me. First, we're going to travel through the superior and inferior vena cava. This is going to bring us into the right atrium of the heart. We're currently deoxygenated right now. That's why we're wearing blue. Now we're going to go through the right atrioventricular valve, also known as the tricuspid valve, and this is going to take us from the right atrium into the right ventricles.
Oh, I think I'm starting to understand. Do we go back into the right atrium after this, or where do we go next?
Not quite. The ventricles are going to passively fill to about 95% of their max blood volume, and then the atria are going to contract to squeeze out the last 5% of blood that's needed to fill the ventricles completely. At this point, the tricuspid valve is going to close so that we can't flow back into the right atrium.
So now does the right ventricle contract?
Yes, the pulmonary semilunar valve is going to open and blood is going to get ejected from the ventricles.
Wait, but we don't have oxygen yet. How are we leaving the heart?
Why, that's where we're going now. The pulmonary arteries are going to bring us to the lungs to get oxygenated. This is known as pulmonary circulation. And don't forget, the semilunar valve is going to close behind us so that we can't flow back into the right ventricle.
Now we're oxygenated, that's why we're red.
How did that happen?
We went to the lungs and they gave us oxygen. Now time to go back to the heart through the pulmonary veins.
That's cool. What chamber is next?
The first chamber of the heart we fill is the left atrium. Now we're going to passively fill the left ventricle by passing through the valve called the bicuspid valve.
How do I know when to go from the atrium to the ventricle?
The pressure in the ventricle drops lower than the pressure in the atria, and that's when the valve opens, and then we travel right through. The left ventricle passively fills to 95% of its volume, but then the last 5% gets filled because the atria contracts. And as you can see, it gets pretty tight in here.
It is pretty tight in here. I feel like we should leave. Where do we go next?
The aortic semilunar valve is now open because the pressure in the ventricles are really high. So that's our cue to go to the aorta. Let's go.
Where is the aorta taking us?
You'll see. There's a few options as to where we go next. We can either go to systemic circulation, which is this way, or coronary circulation, which is this way.
What's the difference?
The coronary circulation gives blood to the heart so it can beat properly. Even though the heart fills with blood all day, it needs its own set of arteries so that it can get oxygenated.
But what about systemic?
Well, systemic circulation is when we go and bring oxygen to the entire body because those cells need oxygen to function too.
Oh my gosh, I'm blue again.
That's because we gave our oxygen to all the cells in the body. Now that we're deoxygenated, the whole process repeats itself again.
Thanks so much for the tour. I think I got it from here.